Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Serrated Cucumber. With the release of Life is Strange True Colors just over 2 weeks away, it's safe to say that the hype is running high. Most of us are eager to take to the streets of Haven Springs and uncover the secrets hidden deep within the mountains. The games industry also recognises this hype with the release of a new gameplay trailer from Square Enix, a new album from Angus and Julia Stone, and a plethora of interviews and articles about the game online. It's safe to say that we're swinging well into the release window by now. With the last few weeks being as hectic as they are, many bits of information have slipped into the public eye for the first time. Today, I'm here to cover some of the less spoiler heavy ones and take a look at 4 things we now know about True Colors. Now, for the first time, I can tell you that this video will contain early game spoilers for Life is Strange True Colors and may include some references of the plots of previous Life is Strange titles. With that said, let's get into the video. Number 1. The game will explore Alex's parents. It's no secret that grief and loss have been a part of the Life is Strange franchise since its inception. The 4th title in the franchise then is no different in that regard. Alex will have the obvious bereavement of losing her brother in what looks like the first chapter of True Colors, however, there's more to her past that we've been in the dark about. Alex is an orphan, according to Angus and Julia Stone, who were interviewed after the release of their album titled Life is Strange, in which they created music for the game in a similar arrangement to Daughter's Music from Before the Storm, which released in 2017. Julia had the following to say. This game is about a girl who is an orphan and she's found her brother. She goes back to the town where her brother has been living and finds out more about her parents. This matches up nicely with some of the shots in the trailer that seem to draw focus onto old photos of Alex's family. We can see that we'll likely learn more about her parents from her time in Haven Springs. There are 2 ways I can see Deck 9 telling this story, the first being through Alex and Gabe talking about their parents together. I can imagine they may have a little bit of time to discuss it briefly before Gabe's untimely demise at the beginning of the game, but Alex is not going to uncover any home truths about her parents through this. While Gabe is older than her and likely knows more, I think the far likelier option is that we'll learn the story of Alex's parents through environmental storytelling. Digging deep through old boxes of Gabe's stuff, reading letters, texts, etc. I'm not sure what sort of answers Alex is seeking about her past because we don't know what she doesn't know. Perhaps she doesn't remember too much of her parents. If she is an orphan, how did her parents die? Or are they still alive and available to be contacted in any way? I've expressed before that I think the theme of grief in a game centered around emotional auras will probably be handled through use of flashbacks, pieces in time of Alex's childhood. Perhaps she will have flashbacks to her past from looking at old photos of herself and Gabe after his death and will be forced to confront the past. Flashbacks in Life is Strange are rarely at all pleasant, and so there will likely be some sort of knife-turning reason for this. We'll have to see. Number 2. Gabe is in trouble with Mack. There is drama on the Real Housewives of Haven Springs. Local boyfriends Gabe and Mack break out into a sparring match over an alleged affair. We've had some details revealed so far that seem to emphasize that Gabe has found himself in a sticky situation upon Alex's arrival. So let's lay out the facts. Gabe has to apologise to his girlfriend Charlotte for something to the point of wanting to buy her flowers. He does mention that she is angry at him. Mack's face is covered in marks and bruises. He looks like he's been beaten. Alex can reveal an unknown secret to Riley, Mack's girlfriend, that he was looking to keep hidden from her for a while. Upon being told that Mack is looking for him, Gabe speaks with an aloof tone, saying he knows where to find me. So what's the drama with Mack and Gabe? Is it related to Charlotte's anger at Gabe? What is the secret that Mack wants to keep from Riley? Now, none of these details are ever given to us explicitly throughout the trailers, however, we can infer some from what we have. So how do the pieces of this puzzle fit together? It seems that at some point during the game, Gabe and Mack will get into a fist fight. I would assume this takes place sometime after Alex's arrival, given the age rating for the game specifies one man punching another in the face repeatedly, which would definitely explain Mack's injuries. Given what we can see about Alex texting Gabe about the makeup flowers during the scene in the record store, we know that this is likely before Mack's beatdown. This means that Charlotte is angry at Gabe before the events of the game, upon Alex's arrival. Now, why might this be? We know the chain of events. Something has happened between Mack and Gabe, and Charlotte is angry while Riley seems oblivious. Gabe apologizes to Charlotte with flowers, after which he beats Mack up, likely confronting him first. Now, from the Power and Consequence cinematic, Mack says this about his girlfriend Riley.
You're gonna lose her. You're gonna lose her and it's all your fault. She is the best thing that's ever happened to me. So please, help me out.
Now, I don't know if I'm reading into this too deeply, but I have a little theory about what went on, and it involves Mack's insecurity about losing his girlfriend. Mack seems insecure in his relationship. He is worried about losing Riley, he's nervous to tell her something, and he warranted a beatdown from Gabe. I think perhaps Mack may have accused Gabe, rightly or wrongly, of having an affair with Riley. Mack may have told Charlotte this, causing her to become angry at her lover. Then, when confronted by Mack in person, Gabe lost his temper and beat him up. Alex then has the opportunity to tell Riley that Mack has been spreading rumours about the relationships of others in order to weaken Gabe's connection to Charlotte, and to presumably push him away from her, and we claim this opportunity. It's also said in the video that Mack does plan to confess this secret to his girlfriend, and so we are robbing him of the opportunity to do so. Now, this is just a theory and it has a few gaps in it, but I think this could be plausible. It's safe to say though, Chekhov's gun considered, that anything mentioned must have further implications in the story, that Mack and Riley are both suspicious by very nature of connection to this incident. Could be worth thinking about in the grander scheme of things of who killed Gabe Chen. Number 3. Alex and Gabe may not be as estranged as we first thought. In the record store segment of the game, which has Alex picking up a Kings of Leon record for Gabe, she makes several fond references to their childhood relationship, which seems to be one of love and care. Alex recalls joyfully the times that Gabe would buy the 2 new records, about him falling off the bed in a failed stage dive, and about their plans to mix a demo together. Now, some of us, myself included, thought that Alex and Gabe had spoken very little during their time apart, and that their separation caused many problems for the two of them. However, despite everything, Alex and Gabe seem to have no bad blood between them. Some of the opening scenes led us to believe that their relationship may have been stale and awkward, but from what we've learned so far from trailers and gameplay, we were wrong. Sadly, this means that the harsh reality of Gabe's death is only going to hit twice as hard for Alex. That she missed out on so many years with somebody she held so near and dear is crushing. The new scenes we've gotten shed light on their relationship. While it's certainly no nuclear family dynamic, Alex and Gabe do love one another, and it doesn't seem like there are hard feelings about the separation. There's not much to be said for this one besides the subversion of my own expectations. Taking a look at Max and Chloe's reunion really shows how these underlying feelings of bitterness can manifest at a surface level during what would otherwise be a heartfelt reunion. Number 4. The game's script length was revealed. It's long. Life is Strange True Colors recently featured in an article on NME which shed some light on the game's length. Deck 9 Games confirmed that their final script boasts a whopping 1,958 pages of dialogue. Of course, this is a pretty abstract figure. How does this translate into game content and episode length? So, take a look at a comparison. When compared to Detroit Become Human, a similar type of story game, often regarded for its vastly branching choices, many endings, and multitude of dialogue, has around 2,000 pages, so only 50 or so more than True Colors. That should really put things into perspective. That a small indie company is competing with Quantic Dream, who released Detroit Become Human with a massive budget and for a vast audience, is insane. This all includes choices that are made in-game, with many different outcomes for different relationships with the residents of Haven Springs. This means that everybody in Haven will form their own opinions of whichever Alex you choose to become. Some of these may be mutually exclusive too. For example, it might be impossible to have both Mack and Riley like you, given their rocky relationship drama at the beginning of the game, forcing you to favour one person over the other. Of course, the most complex relationships will be Ryan and Steph, but I've got no doubt that, similar to the first Life is Strange, we'll be able to impact side characters more by helping them with their issues, choosing to be understanding to one party versus another, etc. This information tells us a lot about the style of True Colors as a game, and that it's more of a return to form to the Season 1 way of things rather than Life is Strange 2, which had us leaving plenty of side characters behind, and so beyond Finn and Cassidy, and maybe Jacob, there wasn't much continuity and relationship building, but of course that was no surprise. Now, this same article also gives some more context to the endings of True Colors, and it's quite interesting. Zimmerman, who worked on the game, says there is a structure that plays out at the end of the game, but in our case it's born organically out of the relationships you make. We wanted every single relationship that Alex forms, from Charlotte, who you see in the trailer with that incredibly powerful emotional moment and the choices that come off of that, to the romantic options, Steph and Ryan, who are very close friends and allies to her brother Gabe, and so many more, to reflect the choices that the player makes and have really significant consequences. Right. So I'm thinking that the ending format might be quite similar to Before the Storm, whereby lots of smaller actions affect the world around you, and how certain characters reconcile their issues, and how they feel after the events of the game. I do like this format, but I hope that the idea of multiple endings isn't neglected. I would really hate for the plot of True Colours to fade into obscurity and lack a clearly defined multiple set of endings. The side characters should be secondary to the main plot. Yes, I care about whether Ethan started writing a new comic, but not at the expense of Alex only having one ending that barely changes anything. Another thing we can see is that the end of chapter montages will likely be making a return, which were absent in Life is Strange 2, showing how different characters were impacted by the choices made in that episode. And with that is 4 things we know about Life is Strange True Colours before release. Thank you so much for watching this video. It took me a little while to make because I've just had my second COVID jab and I felt incredibly sick afterwards. So if I sound a little bit off, sorry. In other news, I have a new Discord server you can join. The link will be down in the description, and it's welcome for anybody who wants to come and chill and talk about Life is Strange, YouTube, or anything really. All I ask is that you bear with me because the server is in its stages of infancy, and to not be a dick. Thanks. Thank you so much for watching this video. Is there anything interesting you would have added? Let me know in the comments down below. I read all of your comments and use some of them as inspiration for my future videos. I try to make weekly videos, so if you enjoy this type of content, why not subscribe for more? And with that said, remember to keep your cucumbers serrated and have a nice day. Bye!